Happy Independence Day, happy 4th of July. I am in Cambridge. Welcome. This is the spot. I made a little clip from the last time we were here, which was not that long ago, kind of putting the pieces together, but I thought, you know what? It's a beautiful day. Let's go for it. So here we are at the spot where yesterday, 250 years ago, George Washington arrived to take command of the troops here at Cambridge, Massachusetts. George Washington arrives at the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia, May 9th, 1775, after attending meetings and taking part in several committees. It was time to pick a commander-in-chief, and good old Dr. Benjamin Rush, who I've talked to you guys a little bit about, is quoted as been saying, "He had so much dignity that you can distinguish him to be a general and a soldier from among 10,000 other people." And here he is on this relief here, taking command of our troops. He saw Patrick Henry just after he was voted in as commander-in-chief. And you know we love Patrick Henry around here. And it's said that he got quite emotional. His eyes were literally filled with tears. And he said, "Remember, Mr. Henry, what I now tell you. From this day I enter upon the command of the American armies. I date my fall and the ruin of my reputation." Of course, that became true, but that reputation was positive and well-deserved. And here we are to this point, Siege of Boston, but now we can finally say the general is in the house. 250 years is just awesome. So here we are marking another revolutionary milestone. So exciting. Here you see, welcome to the Longfellow House, Washington's headquarters, National Historic Site. This is your National Historic Site. It's always free and all are welcome. And it didn't take our beloved general long to figure out that camping down on the green was not gonna work. He needed a place to meet more properly and to have a nice roof over his head. So he came here July 3rd, and I believe it was the 15th, if my memory serves me. Again, I do not have a photographic memory, but the fact that I have nerded out and read these things a million times means you guys are in somewhat of luck. I'll fact check that if it's wrong. I believe it was the 15th. He moves in here to the Vassal House and has a much more comfortable lodging experience. And it's just a better place to be able to do business. War has a very real human element, but it also is like conducting the most extreme of business. And realistically, he needed a place to meet with the rest of his generals and to carry out missions or work on carrying out missions and planning. So this worked out quite nicely. And he thought that Cambridge was really a beautiful place. Now, of course, there were still a lot of loyalists in Boston, not having the time of their lives, eating roadkill and having to survive the best they can with goods not coming in very good condition and having to live in dirty conditions with a lot of disease running rampant. Of course, we're just coming off of the Battle of Bunker Hill. And then Washington gets here. Artemis Ward kind of says, "Okay, I'm still here for you, but take the reins, General Washington," and he did. And he went about organizing and figuring out how the heck we were going to do this thing. Fast forward to a year, and pretty much everybody, a who's who of amazing people, wind up in Philadelphia. Those 5 men, with Jefferson being the chief amongst them, writing the most incredible political document ever on the face of the human earth. And here we are. A pretty full tour, so we'll see how it goes. See you guys on the other side. Here at the gift shop, here is a little card with a quote on it. Proceed, great chief, with virtue on thy side, thy every action let the goodness guide. A crown, a mansion, and a throne that shine, with golden phasing, Washington be thine. And that was Phyllis Wheatley, a Boston girl. She was a young black woman, a beautiful poet. She became friends with Washington, and he kind of wrote back to her saying, wow, you flatter me, I want to meet you. So they did meet at one point, and she was honored, and so was he, and it's a great story. You guys know I defend Longfellow, and Paul Revere's right all the way. We talked about this the other day at the Massachusetts Historical Society. It did a lot to drum up support during the Civil War. It brought a lot of attention to history, and Longfellow, by the way, was an incredibly wonderful, kind man. And here is a book of some of Phyllis Wheatley's poems. If you guys haven't read them, highly suggest. Very popular today. You guys recently reminded me that I really need to go to the Wayside Inn in Sudbury, and it is a place we love to go. They have an excellent restaurant, trails, there's a beautiful gristmill. I will take you guys soon, because there is a strong Longfellow connection there as well. This is his home in Portland, Maine. Nathan and I have been there. That's another place I'll have to take you guys. It's very, very cool. It does feel extra special being here on the 4th of July, I have to say.
I think because we could.
Incredible. This house is huge. A ginormous, ginormous home. Incredible. And the way that it's decorated. This is decorated at the time of Longfellow, of course, but it's easy to imagine Washington here as well. And he doesn't leave until April, after Evacuation Day. Beautiful. 2 sets of incredible stairs. The floor plan's amazing. Yeah, Nathan just pointing out an important thing that was not talked about on this tour, along with a lot of other things that were not talked about, but I'll talk to you guys about that when we get outside. But Nathan pointing out that the Longfellows did a tremendous amount for George Washington's Mount Vernon estate, preserving it and helping with the Mount Vernon Ladies Association and preserving his art, his works, and so on. Okay guys, I took that tour so that you don't have to. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Don't recommend the tour. They left out, so I'm frustrated. I was actually to the point of shaking, and I mean, I don't want to sound like super emotional or over the top or dramatic about this. You guys know how much I love history, and how much I you know, defend this stuff and the stories. Literally the job of a historian is to tell the stories of the past, and these people can't, you know, defend their honor or themselves or their story anymore. So we have to be the ones to, in a responsible way, tell those stories. And there's a definite agenda going on here that is not accurate. And I don't want to get political or say too much or anything. Just saying, you guys always do your own research. Research it from multiple sources. Go to direct sources, and yeah, I wouldn't even recommend a tour here. It was bad. Also, totally left out the fact that Longfellow's wife passed away tragically in the house. Her skirt caught fire. Left out like what a family man he was, what a man of faith. These people were Christians. It was a huge part of his life, his writing, why he was an abolitionist and all of that. It very much told a different story that at one point the guide even admitted that they don't have like definitive proof of, but she's like, but then kept saying it like it was fact, which was very interesting and frustrating and really hard for me to stand there and watch. There's people here from all over the world. We just saw some people here from another part of the world, and they're coming here and this is what they're being told, this narrative, and it's not right. And I hate When people lie about things that have happened in the past, especially since we can so easily use our brains to decipher the truth from lies, and people are choosing to spin lies because they have an agenda, and that isn't right. We're discussing some of the things we heard, and there's a family. We're all a little frustrated, and Nate had another good point. He's like, you know, if they really want to spin what they were spinning, they could have said, some people choose to believe this, and then she could have given her narrative and said, but other people choose to believe this, but you do your own research. But that's not what she said. She said, this, and this, and this is a fact. And then one time even used like emotion to drum up. It's hard to explain. I know I'm kind of talking in code. But she very much kind of, it was manipulative, which I don't like. And then she said, I mean, we don't have definitive proof, but, and then kept going. But by then her audience was captivated. So it was really bad. Like, not responsible history. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to take a tour like that and then tell you guys, yeah, it was great, you should take the tour. I hope this changes soon. Now, the house is gorgeous. The true history in it, incredible, and two of the most exceptional men ever created lived in it for a period. And amazing things happened there. But you won't get any of that if you go take the tour, so sadly I would just suggest don't. Being negative, and I hate that I have to tell you guys this, like it makes me so sad, especially on the 4th of July for me to be all, I'm gonna have to put it out of my mind and just be happy that, you know, I did go to the place and that I do know the truth, and that I do know what kind of a man he was. They also barely talked about Washington. They like barely talked about Longfellow really, and definitely barely talked about General Washington, so it was weird. Just across from the Longfellow House in Longfellow Park is this gorgeous memorial to Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, an exceptional, wonderful, kind, sweet man who stood for true justice, true morals, and he loved this country, dedicated his life to a good standard of living, loving his family, loving this country, and writing about those things. And so here you have in this relief depicted characters from his novels, and I can see right away Miles Standish from Hiawatha, and of Evangeline, Spanish student, and blacksmith, and definitely classic literature, should be required reading for everybody. Incredibly talented man. And now that I'm simmering down, I mean, as bad as that was, it's an honor to go, and you know, we know the truth. It's just, it's upsetting that he was so good, and that if you went and took that tour, you wouldn't necessarily know it. Seriously, I don't want to harp, but like that tour was 45 minutes. They talked about Washington for 4 or 5 minutes, talked about Longfellow for 4 or 5 minutes, and the rest was other things that nobody really needed to know, and there's not even necessarily proof of. And then other things that are true, but got magnified, is the best way I can put it. One last look on a beautiful 4th of July. But we're not done, so hang on. Treats. So yes, we went to this awesome bakery cafe called Azaro here in Cambridge. I got, of course, my iced tea. The boys got coffees, which they were talking about how fancy, like it's like freshly melted, real like shaved chocolate in the mochas. And we got treats to bring home for later too. So happy times. See, there's this really cute dog in front of me. A while ago it was staring at me. You guys see this? You know I have to feature our four-legged friends. So funny. I wouldn't trust our dogs, they would jump out. Seriously, look at this thing. He's still chilling out the window. It's really cute. Oh, there he is. I think it's like a blue heeler mix.
He's on somebody's lap. Somebody had their arms sticking out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that thing is so cute. It's like having his best day ever. Happy 4th of July, little puppy. This view. We took a little detour because I want to go to the Converse headquarters. Moved here a few years ago, and they have custom I am a huge collector of the original Chuck Taylors, and you can make custom Chucks here. I want to see if they have anything for like Revor 250 or something patriotic I could make. So we're going to head over here, and just want to show you guys this nice perspective coming in. So yeah, completely unrelated to anything historical, unless it's just the history of me. I love Chuck Taylors. I've been wearing them for years. That's probably why my back sucks now. As a mid-aged person, started wearing these when I was a kid, and definitely when I was a teenager. I collect them. I have so many colors. I have a pair of Chucks for every outfit under the sun. They're taking pictures. This isn't a really pretty spot. Charlestown across the river. There's the Memorial Bridge. You can see it looks like the Bunker Hill Monument. And all the boats over there. I'm gonna see what they have for Chucks and then walk around a little bit. So I'll be right back. Today I actually have my red sparkly Chuck Taylors on. I love these so much. When I found them, I bought 3 pairs. So even though I've had them for years, I have 3 pairs in various stages of decay. This is my really good pair that I busted out for the 4th. So yep, when I see colors I like, I buy a couple. And I apologize if you guys don't care at all about stuff like this and you're just here for the history. This is my little fun add-ons I do. Taking a look at the flagship store of Converse. Has his Chucks on today, which we modified with vintage Davy Crockett decals that we got in the mail. Here is what they look like when they're new, the exact ones he's wearing. Now Noah likes the Chuck Taylor 70. They have a little more support and a little more detail. I usually just wear the All-Stars, but he's trying to convince me to be a convert over to the 70 side. So we'll see. Look at this. And I said we weren't going to talk history, but that's the whole thing. I'm looking for a pair of Chucks that is my vibe. I mean, I've got the red sparkles on, but look at this. With all the places I take you guys. Oh my gosh. See, that's what I'm saying. Guys, you can get these patches. They actually have North End with a cannoli on it and a lobster, all kinds of stuff. So very fun, and you can customize with eyelets and the laces, embroidery. Gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but here's a pretty sweet handy dandy like iPads, and you can choose through like thousands of designs and they will customize them right here for you. I think they're ready in a couple of hours. I didn't get anything today, but the staff at the Converse store were super helpful and pleasant and very, very nice. And I got a lot of good information. So for what I kind of want to do, the shoes wouldn't be ready until September. So I'm kind of thinking, but she went over the options with me. They have embroidery, screen printing. You can pretty much get anything. Noah got a lot of good ideas too. So we will definitely be back. She said I could always email them as well with ideas and we can kind of work on it from there. If I wanted something just embroidered that was small, they could do it within like an hour, but the thing that I was looking at would take much longer. So I have to think about what I want to do because they had like a million options. I want to do something kind of patriotic, maybe even kind of themed to this channel. I don't know. And then I started thinking about different ideas with like Scottish themed things I could do and plaids, and I mean they can do like almost anything as long as it's not heavily copyrighted or certain franchises. So definitely a fun thing, and it's awesome because this is the one and only flagship store of Converse and it happens to be right here. So I will definitely be utilizing that, and next time I'm down here I think we'll go back and look again and pull the trigger on ordering something. But just walking around the garden now. I know this has turned into a very long side detour. The USS Constitution, the Bunker Hill Memorial, the Charles River, and Old Glory waving in the beautiful New England sunshine. This vlog is going to be a little different, I think. I don't know. Sometimes when I'm editing, it comes out better than I think it's gonna be. They're all different though, aren't they, these adventures I bring you on? I hope you had a good day joining us celebrating the 4th, taking a look at some history and some general fun. I'm not too keen on getting close to this edge, but look at this. Of course, tonight the world famous Boston Pops will be playing at the Clamshell over on the other side of town. We will not be going to that. It's chaotic, and we're gonna go home and eat some delicious food and relax, reflect. Might put on the old John Adams series, even if we just watch the episode where they're drafting the deck and signing it. That's such a great one. It's kind of a 4th tradition I have. Hope that wherever you guys are, you had a wonderful Independence Day, and that everybody enjoying your summer times. Much more adventure ahead. Some exciting events coming up, and it's going to be a very busy next couple of weeks again, so that's the good news. I'm always busy, but there's some cool stuff coming up, so a lot to look forward to. And in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers on earth the separate and equal stanchion to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinion of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. These truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving from the just powers and the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of those ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute a new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such a form as they shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms of which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing inevitably the same object devises the design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right and their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient suffrages of these colonies, and such is the necessity of constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having indirect object the establishment of these absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. Well, I think that's going to be all from Cambridge in this very happy 4th of July. It really is wonderful anytime you can take in history, and hey, we're celebrating General Washington coming here 250 years ago and our 249th Independence Day. Like Patrick Henry, who comforted Washington when he was elected as our new commander-in-chief. I know of no way of judging the future but by the past, and the past has stories to tell. Our job is to seek the truth, be the truth tellers. That is what John Locke said, and he was one of the biggest influences on our Declaration of Independence, which we are celebrating 249 years of today. Thank you so much for hanging out. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate that. Remember, I'm also on Instagram at @that_historychick, on Facebook at @thathistorychick, and right here on YouTube at @thathistorychick, with more content coming your way. See you soon. Love you guys. Bye. Also, we just found out, oh my gosh, there's a whole bunch of Boston's finest. Just found out that Kurt Russell is in town. We're huge fans of Kurt Russell, and we met him at Disney World a few years ago. It was hilarious. So Nathan has always wanted to meet him. He's a huge fan, and This is very strange. We used to always joke about meeting him, and we said we would meet him at either Disneyland or Disney World. Just somehow we knew, and it was like this family joke, and every time we went to the parks, we'd be like, maybe we'll meet Kurt Russell. Then one day in December, we were in Epcot. What pavilion was that?
It's like the American area, I think. I don't know what pavilion.
We're hanging out in one of the pavilions in Epcot, and out walks Kurt Russell. I kid you not.
To promote his wine.
Yeah, to promote his wine. It was so random. And Kay walks right up to him and is like, Kurt Russell. It shakes his head. I have pictures. Oh, you know what? I'll insert it now.
Nice to see you, Kurt.
How you doing? How's it going?
And Nathan, who is the one who is like always wanting to meet him, chickened out. He got so nervous. He smiled at him, but he wouldn't even like go up to him. And I like went right up and was like, hi, oh my gosh, it's a pleasure. And same thing with Noah, but Nathan got so starstruck, he like couldn't handle it. So it's become this family joke about how he couldn't handle meeting Kurt Russell, even though he was the one that always said he wanted to. And now he is in town. He was at the Jason Russell House in modern day Arlington, Menotomy, where I stood in front of and filmed and showed you guys the Battle of Menotomy on April 19th. Yeah. So he is a descendant of Jason Russell. And Kurt Russell grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts. So there you go. And Nathan, who is extremely camera shy, as soon as I turned this off, said, oh, and did you know he has a son named Boston? I'm like, what? Mind blown. Kurt Russell has a son named Boston and is related to Jason Russell, like Patriot Jason Russell, who was killed on his doorsteps at the house in Arlington. That Jason Russell.